Good day, happy Friday or whatever day you're tuning in here. Mark Wagner here, DentalBytes. I'm very excited. I always say that I'm excited. I just, whenever I'm in this room, I feel like I'm at home. My guest on today is across the continent. He's tuning in from down in Florida. And believe it or not, there's a fact about Florida. It is one of the flattest places on earth. It's an interesting fact. Did you need to know that? Of course you did.
Why not?
Why not? Dr. Robbert Ritter, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me. How's the weather down there these days?
It's great. Let me tell you, I think Florida rocks. From January through pretty much May, we'll have days at anywhere from between 73 and 85 degrees with very low humidity, beautiful beach breeze. It's just, in my opinion, at this time of year, it's fantastic. Now, we pay the price in the summertime. It gets up to the mid-90s with 100% humidity, and it rains every day like a monsoon. People can't handle the humidity here in Florida, so I understand that when you're from north. But come, the winter time, it's just the best place to be. I
bet. Do you ever not wear shorts?
Yeah, when I practice.
There you go. That's probably. Yeah. What do you do in your spare time? What's your fun?
Oh, I've played tennis for years, ski, golf, go to the beach. I try to take advantage of everything in Florida. The only thing I don't do is I don't own a boat. The best people own boats are your friends.
That's right. Yeah.
I have a lot of friends with boats, and I let them ask me out to go on their boat, and that's the best for me.
That's a smart play. It's an expensive hobby, that's for sure. But
and it's a money pit. It's a money pit.
And
you ever hear the people say the two best days of owning a boat?
Sorry, what's that?
The two best days of owning a boat?
What's that?
The day you buy it and the day you sell it.
I should have known. Burnout, it's super important. That's a hot topic out there. What are you doing for yourself? Where do you set your boundaries when it comes to practice and personal? How many days a week are you practicing these days? I know you're a busy guy. You've got a course up and coming. We're going to dive into that. But how important is, taking care of yourself to be successful in this industry?
It's number one.
Yeah.
It's number one thing. Number one thing is your health. Health is your new wealth. If you don't take care of yourself I had a patient, my favorite patient of the practice, who passed away a number of years ago, used to come in and say to me, be selfish with your health because nobody else will be.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. You've got to maintain your health. Now, it's not just physical, it's mental health as well. And we're learning, unfortunately, we've heard some really unfortunate stories about people struggling in our profession. It's such a great profession, yet let's also say it can exact a toll. Now, you have some people who say, oh, I don't believe in any of that. And they have a very strong will and demeanor and constitution. And then you have other people who it affects them. And so for us not to pretend that it doesn't happen is really foolish. You have to take time for yourself, your physical health. I'm always, quite honestly, getting my blood drawn every 3 months and making any changes, dialing it in and taking any medication.
Every 3 months. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, because if you wait too long, it can get to the point where you can't handle things with medicine. I've also got to the point in my life that there's only so much that exercise and nutrition can do for you.
Right. You're 29, right?
You're right. Exactly. And the hair gives it away, right?
Yeah.
So the story is that my father passed away at 68 years old. He got diabetes. He got type 1 diabetes at 31, which is very rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it just ate up his body. So me and my brother, we monitor our blood. I'm on, I have no problem telling people these things, by the way. Some people get a little weirded out about it, but I don't. I've been on Ozempic for almost 6 years. And you're like, oh, wow, you're one of those people on Ozempic. How you lost a lot of weight. I was never a heavy guy. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just telling you, unfortunately, I'm predisposed to diabetes because
Yeah.
of my father. And so I went on something like Ozempic to lower my A1C to stay out of the danger zone, because when I was not on it, I was right there.
Yeah.
And I was a thin guy who, like I said, played tennis and golf and worked out and everything, and watched what I ate. I don't eat fast food, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And my A1C was just abnormally high. Well, those people, you need drugs. And if you don't take your blood to know what your A1C is, how can you get on the drug to prevent you from, see what I mean? How it's
Yeah,
trickle
no,
down
I hear
effect.
you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play hockey with a fella like just clicked into his 50s and just diagnosed with stage 4. So I think it's critically important to have those regular checkups. It's and as a guy, I think, is it tougher for us to do that? Like
I think so.
do
No,
we
I think
do we
so.
do we neglect ourselves as men more so? And we can dial into the mental health thing. Like I think we should all open up and talk more about how we're doing.
Oh, I totally agree with that. And again, not just physical, mental health as well, because
Yeah.
this can be this can be, my daughter is getting ready to apply to dental school
Yeah.
in, what is it, May, June, July, 3 months. And I always tell her, because I never told her to become a dentist, I said, you do what you want to do in life, and I'll be there to support you, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, somebody asked her, what are you going to be? And she goes, a dentist. And I turned around and looked at her and I go, I didn't know that. And she looked at me like, well, yeah, what else did you think I was going to be? Because me and my wife are dentists, we graduated together. I'm
Right.
like, well, I don't know. I didn't ask. I mean, you didn't tell me. She goes, what else? She goes, I've been around it my whole life. I like it. I said, okay, great.
Mm.
But I also told her, Olivia, you better be doing this for you and not for me or mommy, because if you're doing this and not for the reasons that are really the good reasons, this profession can be a miserable place for people.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
tough,
it. Yeah,
right?
it's tough. Yeah.
We've all
Yeah.
seen it, right? And it
Yeah.
takes its toll. It takes its toll on your physical and mental health, takes its toll on relationships, it takes its
Hmm.
toll on your business.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy. And, a lot of things have popped up, and some of my friends teach these courses now on mental health, which I think is so valuable to so many.
Yeah.
Some people want to talk about it, some others don't. And
Mm.
so you got to take your time. You asked me about balance. I was working 3.5 days a week. And then I was lecturing a lot. I cut back on going across the country a couple of years ago from COVID. COVID kind of shut that down. We started our own course instead 5 years ago, where people come to take my course instead of me going on the road. But I'm going to pick up more lectures again because I really enjoy it. And I'm realizing that there's a need for it. So I'm going to be, in dentistry for a while longer. I have too much institutional memory not to share it. And I really want to
Yeah.
help people with their careers to enjoy it's one of those things, right? They say, well, if you enjoy what you do, it's not a job, it's a hobby.
Hmm.
And I can see that a little bit with dentistry. Um, but if you're not doing the right steps along the way to get there, I could tell you, we could spend an hour just on phone calls from other dentists who call me up who are struggling with a
Yeah.
lot of things.
Hmm.
And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I like to share so much information with people, because I really want them to be happy and succeed. Their happiness and their success has nothing to do with my practice. Go take the information, go back and be as successful and as happy as you possibly can be. And having that balance. Although, you ever hear the story, there's really no such thing as balance in life?
Yeah, no, there's
Did you hear?
not. Yeah, I talk about this all the time. Like, I think if you're not pushing hard enough, like we talk about this balance stuff, you have to be uncomfortable. Unfortunately,
Well, that's
you
where
know,
growth comes from, right?
yeah,
That's where growth comes from,
yeah,
is being in that comfortable space. Once you get comfortable, you stagnate. Now,
yeah,
at a certain point in life, let's also say this. I'm not going to put an age to it. Certain point in life, in your profession, you're good. You don't need to constantly have these huge explosions of huge growth. When you're young and you've got the time and you've got the energy and the ability, it's great to do that.
yeah,
But at a certain point, you want to, what do they call it? The salad days, right? You want to enjoy what you've worked for. And it really, you get there and you're like, wow, this is what I wanted. And then you drive your goals so that you can look back and say, wow, that was a fruitful career. I mean, I've been doing
yeah,
it for 31 years now.
yeah.
31 years. It's a long time.
And how cool is it? Your daughter's getting into it. And I think the natural progression of things as a human being, like our timeline is finite. Like you approach this time where you have, like you just said it, you have this abundance of knowledge. To me, that would give me such joy to give back. Like you're still serving the profession in such a beautiful way. And I see how important it is for these young, like I talk to folks from, just starting to, towards the, non-practicing, but still contributing. Like, I think to have that mentor in place for guidance is game changing for a lot of these young guys and gals. So I think it's like, that's a great, it's all about fulfillment too, and purpose, I believe, and if you don't have that, if you're just doing it because it's a job, like I do agree. Like if it's something that you're super passionate about, it's so much easier. Like it feels lighter, and in your perspective, like somebody new getting into it, there's a lot. Like we talked about all these, like the Panky, the Spear, the Kois, getting out and into all these courses. Like how hard is it on those Monday mornings? Like how hard is it on those Monday mornings to come in and implement? And, we talked about this before we jumped on. Some of those courses are quite expensive to go to. So in your opinion, what's like, I know this is your bread and butter, so this is going to be fun to jump into. How does somebody go through something like this and then be successful with it afterwards? Like, is it a confidence thing? What does that look like in your mind?
Well, you just hit so many great points. I'm trying to think of where I should begin.
I do that. Sorry.
No, it's great, but it's great. We can just use that topic and talk the rest of the time. So what I learned early on was when you graduate from dental school, that you get that piece of paper, you pass your boards, and you're free to go practice. To me, that's really the beginning of your career and beginning of your opportunity to learn, because that's where you're going to pick up everything as your continuing education from that moment forward. Dental school gives you basic skills. You have to go beyond that. Now, when I say this, there are some people in my class that I graduated with. I don't think they took much CE along the way. They probably practiced very similarly to the way we did in dental school. Some of the materials might have changed. I decided to do something else. I've never really been a conformist. I really wanted to always do something different. So I took as much CE as I possibly could. And I finished taking Dawson and Spear and Kois. And I implemented a lot of and through trials and tribulations, it was not easy. I don't want anybody to think implementing what they say to do is easy. It is incredibly difficult, at times frustrating, anxiety riddled, financially strapped. If you name all of those things, I've gone through them. I was an associate. I was a single practitioner. I had an associate, had a business partner. I've done it all. Now, one of the things that we did is we decided to take Kois together. So follow me on this path. After I'd done Dawson and I did Spears, I finished those, we decided to take Kois together. And we would leave for a week at a time the practice together. So right away, your dentist is going to say, well, who was generating income in the practice? How could one of you go and the other person not stay behind and make money? Well, my wife is a dentist and she was in the practice, but she really was only doing children's dentistry. And the practice was open, but she was there to check hygiene. So we kind of paid the bills just through that. But what it really did is it set us up on something that was so incredibly important for partnerships, which was by going out there together, we learned together, so that when we came back home, and if I couldn't work because I had a neck surgery and my partner had to finish up some cases, he could jump in with the same philosophy and finish the case. Period. Seamless. What is that worth over the lifetime of a practice? Immeasurable.
Yeah.
So the first thing I would tell you is if you've got a partner, you go take these courses together.
Right.
Because at the end of the year, your numbers are not going to be that much different. But the knowledge and the bonding and the way you can work through these issues and then come back together and implement it in your practice, outstanding.
What's your philosophy on maintaining a healthy partnership too? Like over time, there's great.
Well, I'll make it simple. We always put the entity first. You put your ego second, and we both have egos. Let's just call it for that. But
Yeah.
you put the entity first, you drive the goals of the entity because the entity is what's going to keep us in business. It's our brand. And our
Mm.
brand is extended for over 20 years. People know Ritter Ramsey. We're the biggest, we're the best practice in Northern Palm Beach County. I have no problem saying it. If other people don't like it, that's their problem. I don't deal with that stuff anymore. I
Yeah.
really don't. I don't even think about it. If you don't like it, it's because you don't like something about yourself. It's not because of us. I've got my brand. I've got the quality of my dentistry. I've got my patient base. I know what we do. It's integrity marketing. I stand behind my product. My cases have been in the mouth for over 20 years. I have nothing to apologize for. If I tell local dentists, if you don't like it, here's what I would do.
I
I'd
think
go
it's a.
out with,
I think it's appropriate to be proud of that. Like that's like you're being proud of taking care of people. That's pretty awesome.
Mhm.
At the end of the day,
and
you know.
doing it right at the end of the day and doing it the right way. And
Right.
that's what I think we've always done. We've always done it the right way. We stand behind our product. And I'm proud that when I see a patient out, I saw a patient the other day. I went Monday. She was checking out in hygiene. How's it going? She goes, God, I can't believe my veneers still look great after all these years. I go, how long ago did we do those? She goes, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago. And the
Yeah.
person checking her out goes, Dr. Ritter, you did them 19 years ago.
Right. Right.
Now, the average life of veneer in this country, in the United States, is 10 years. So I got almost 20 years out of it. You think I'm happy about that? You think the
Yes.
patient's
Yeah.
happy about that? I love
Absolutely.
it. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you do that with partnerships. You take the entity, put it first. We did certain things in our practice. We draw down the same salary. And the reason everybody takes the same paycheck, me and my partner, because when somebody wants to take 2 or 3 weeks off in the summer and go to Italy, you don't have to worry about it. Because otherwise you're like, should I go? I have to produce. Meanwhile, it gets slower in the summertime. It just didn't make sense to us. So that's what we did. And at the end of the year, if one person outproduced the other, then we would take the percentage of what we did different. And all of a sudden, when you take the money out of the equation, it becomes you're living your life, you're taking vacations, you're taking time off. Now, of course, to get there, this didn't happen overnight. And so what I tell all the young dentists are, first of all, have your dream, have your goal. Number one. Number two, if you ask local dentists, they're going to tell you shouldn't do it, you can't do it, here's the reason why you're going to fail. So my answer to them is don't listen to a local dentist.
Right.
Don't do it because they don't want you to be successful, right?
Yeah.
When I came to my town, they were horrible to me. Horrific.
So in that sense, like where do you find support then? Like that's a tough position to be in.
Well, here we go. So I can give you all the answers to that question. Number one is, first of all, listen to a podcast like you. Right off the bat, you're going to find like-minded dentists that you can reach out and DM on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much everybody's going to help you out. Number two, go to these places like the Coises and the Spears, because you're going to surround yourself with other people who are trying to become better, who might have better practices than you, or maybe have ideas that can help you out with. And again, because they don't practice in the same town as you, they're going to share everything with you. Three, reach out and get a mentor. And you mentioned mentors at the beginning.
Yeah.
I read a great book, and in the book it said that the mentor that you start with might not be the mentor that you end with, because as your journey goes along, you need to find other mentors. But everybody who's become great has had a mentor.
Yeah.
And lastly, please remember, everybody wants a shortcut to greatness. There is no such thing. If you take a look at the biggest success stories, most of them, one of two things. Either they're absolutely brilliant, somebody like a Bezos or a Musk, take the politics out of it. I'm just talking about what they built.
Yep.
Or other people who have failed, never quit, and then boom, on their third, fourth, fifth attempt, they hit it because they didn't give up. They didn't listen to the other people. They pivoted, right?
Yeah.
And this is very important for young dentists to understand. It's very, very important. Now, it's frustrating because you went to 4 years of college, 4 years of dental school, take out a big note, then you might buy a practice or start your practice. You're like, well, how come it's not happening for me? Well, because there's no such thing as an overnight success unless you move to a place where there's so much growth that if you build a practice, it's just going to grow around you very quickly. But that's not the majority of what happens, right? It's not. So you have to be in it for the long haul. Always reach out, be able to pivot. You know, they say quitters never win and winners never quit. Sometimes quitting certain things actually does aid you if you quit at the right time.
Sure.
But most importantly, find out people who are willing to help you people who can be mentors for you. I've mentored quite a few dentists along the way, and it's a pleasure to help them out. Again, I it has no effect on me. So if anything, it makes me feel better actually that what I've done I can package and give to somebody else.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. That's the natural progression, I think, you know. That's
Yes, it
it
is.
truly is. I think it's almost it's the veterans' duty to, you know, give back to the industry that gave them so much, right? Like it may be an
Yeah.
obligation. I know, like that's maybe not the way that some people look at it, but I think in any walk of life, like we're not here forever, right? So it's I think that's the next progression.
And
And
remember,
like
too, I want to say one other thing. We're not born from the primordial ooze knowing everything.
no,
We
absolutely
don't
not.
know
Yeah,
everything. No, we're learning, we're assimilating, we're modifying, we're understanding. You have to be a very good listener. Um, and I think along the way in dentistry, if you can do that, you're going to be much more successful than if you silo yourself.
yeah, I agree. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, the ego as well silos people. Like they can't get over that. I think they,
Oh, there's egos in dentistry?
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
no,
No, not in this industry, right? Right. Um,
no, no. I've
um,
never come
w-
across one person that didn't have a big that didn't that the ego was too small.
yeah, there you
No,
go. Yeah. What
no.
would you say in your pathway? What were some key moments that like were huge confidence builders in your journey?
I don't think anybody's ever actually asked me that question before. That's a
There,
great question. I'm
there
gonna have
you
to
go.
think about that for a second. Here's what I would say. My journey's a little different from some other people. Um, you have to understand a couple things about me, which would be when I went to dental school with my wife, we just wanted to graduate, come back home to Florida, and have our own little practice. That's all I had. I didn't have this huge vision of having this big practice, doing rehabs, cosmetic dentistry, or even lecturing. That was never my thought process. It just wasn't. And by serendipity, one thing leads to another. And before you know it, I'm lecturing 30, 40 times a year. And I think that for me gave me a lot of confidence in front of people. And they would always say to me afterwards, wow, you speak so easily up there. What courses did you take? And I said, none. What? And I go, no, they go, well, how come it's so easy for you? I said, well, I'm just showing you what I do in my practice every day. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not talking about launching Starship to Mars. I'm talking about something that I actually do every day. I'm just showing what I do step by step. A friend of mine said years ago, great quote. He goes, we're paid to read the instructions, which I
Yeah.
thought was, wow, that is what a lecturer is. I mean, that's really what it is. And so by doing that, I think that helped with my confidence. Just going up and showing other dentists, but I did it. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because I was so excited by what I was doing and other dentists were not doing it. And I said, why are they not doing this? There's so many cool things out there. So, I was one of the first people to get into chairside scanning, not CEREC, but real, just have a digital scanner 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And everybody said, oh, that doesn't work. It can't work. And even today, there's some people that still run around. I mean, you have laboratories that say, oh, you can't scan that. What?
Yeah.
What?
Deep pocket
Why
or
would
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't get it. So that's part of it for me. And I think, again, the validation comes from your team believing in what you're doing. You take care of your team. My thing is if you take care of your team takes care of your patients, and your patients take care of the profits. That's the way I
Hmm.
look at it.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that if you are really good at what you do, it's just going to come through in your dentistry. Because the patient's going to see that you enjoy it and that
Yeah.
you want to be there and you're there to help them. Now, look, it's a heavy lift. Let's not. I say that, but carrying the burden around for 4,500 patients, it's a lot. And we've created this bar in the practice and in the area um, that is very high, and to run at that level can exhaust one.
Sure.
Hence the balance that you need time off to refresh, recharge. Your life can't be come home at nighttime and listen to, dental podcasts and go to CE every weekend. And I mean, you're gonna burn out from that too. You have to balance everything and spend time with your family and always, be in the picture, so to speak.
And
But I
have a
still
friend with a boat, right?
and have friends with boats. Have friends with boats.
So
Yeah.
in your opinion, like for the kids that are starting out, to your daughter, like, is it important for them to go and do all the courses, the Penke, the Spear, the Kois? Is that mission critical? Like, what would be some key steps in self-discovery, and what genuinely is there, to find their own fulfillment in the industry? Like, what would you do if you, could go back in time?
Oh, well, I would do things a little different. There's two questions there.
Yeah.
So the first thing is you got to find out what you like. And the great thing about dentistry is one size doesn't fit all. I mean, if you realize that you like doing, I'm just saying this because I don't, class two composites, then find courses on class two composites to make your life a little bit easier, to get a better contact, to get a better aesthetic result, that sort of thing. If you find out that you want to do place implants, there's a couple of great courses out there like Implant Pathway. I mean, you go there for a couple times over a year's period and you can get the knowledge that you would take, if you were going to a 2 or 3 year perio program, that you can do this while you're working and implement it in your practice. And that's kind of what I would have added earlier in my career, quite honestly. I can't do anything other than what I'm doing. I don't do any specialty work. I haven't done an endo in 30 years. Haven't taken out a tooth since a hurricane 20 years ago. I don't do any grafting. I don't place any implants. Mine was all restoratively based. And so unfortunately, it was a one-way channel of wealth out of my practice to my specialists so that they would do the best root canal under a microscope, or my person would do an extraction in the anterior with a connective tissue graft, or, that sort of thing. And then they would set the cases up to where I come back and then I have to do even the hardest part, which is get the one front tooth to match the other front tooth. You don't make money on that. You make a reputation. Right. But if I had to do it over again, I would add a whole bunch of different modalities to the practice that I definitely would have done. Not that I would have cut off my specialist, but I would have done that. But you got to figure out what you like to do first, and then drive those goals by taking the appropriate CE to push you forward and not just get competent in it, but get unconsciously competent to where you ooze confidence from it. And when you tell the patient that's what we're going to do, and boom, they're like, well, how many times have you done this? I said, I've already done it 5 times this week. They're like, okay, this is the place. I'm in the right place, which is what we've always espoused in our practice. I always thought that nobody could get restorative dentistry done better than our office. Not in our area. Not in our area. And not for what we charge, too. I mean, there are other places. I know some really great dentists across the country, but you got to go across the country. And most people, they don't, and where I live, they don't want to drive 2 miles down the street to go to a different shopping center, let alone travel, either 50 miles by car or get on a flight. So if you become that person in your town, look out.
How do you, so from a marketing standpoint, how are you attracting these types of patients? Like what have you found to be the most effective in terms of ROI and all that?
Well, number one, first of all, it all starts with your brand. You have to stick on brand. You have to be on brand. You have to represent on brand. It's not just you at your office. It's the way you represent yourself, the way that you answer the phone. It's the way the office looks. It's the way your team works together. All of that is brand. That doesn't come overnight. And if you expect to have that brand out there, and then, again, I go back to the example would be, if you move across the street from me and 2 years in, you're wondering why it's not happening. Well, it's because I've been here for 20 years with my brand. It's going to take, you're going to get there. It's just going to take you a while. You got to figure out what you're going to do differently and quite honestly better than me, but do something different than me. Because if you're just going to try to emulate me, it's probably not going to get you very far.
Right.
Not here. And then as far as marketing goes, I always used integrity marketing, soft sell, never anything in your face. I never was the guy on the billboards. But years ago, I did a television commercial. The ROI wasn't great, but it was just getting my name out there. I did little things like I was in the Cheesecake Factory menu. That's like 25 years ago. When I started, I had all these different ideas that I wanted to implement. Mm-hmm. One of the cool things I did years ago, when it mattered 25 years ago, was back when people used to get Sunday newspapers and they were, 4 inches thick, you'd have the circulars or flyers inside of them. And I made sure I had this beautiful 2-piece, professionally done on high quality paper of services that we had in our practice. No deals though, not buy one, get one free or free exam. I was never that guy. And of course, within 6 months, 4 other dentists started copying me. So whatever I did, every dentist locally copied me. Everybody copies. We used to dress, we'd have different colored, this is like 25 years ago, we had a different colored polo for a different day with khakis. Turn around, everybody did it. Yeah. Then a good 10 years ago, we went to the black t-shirts and the black black pants. They started copying them. I mean, you just name it, whatever we did. We went to the black gloves. They copied the black gloves. I mean, it just became ridiculous. But you got to figure out what you want to be and how you want to look upon. A lot of what we took for our office came out of something like following Tom Ford. And, outside of our industry and going outside of our industry and bringing it back into our office to make us look not like another dental office.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of what we did.
I like the bougie boutique-y feeling. Like that's the way, like, man, oh man, I've been like, this is Dentist on Demand. This is our bread and butter. This is like, we're taught, like, this is what we do. We build brand. And, sometimes it's like, put a new coat of paint on the wall. It starts with that. Like how, like people answering the phone. It's all about how the folks are feeling when they're coming through the door. That is it.
You answer the phone?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how we answer the phone. If you call my office, I mean, it's a free, it's a giveaway here, because if you call my office, this is what they answer. Say, good morning. It's an outstanding they'd say, good morning. It's an outstanding day at Ritter and Ramsey's. I'm Ashley and I can help you. All of a sudden, if the patient is coming in hot, they have to break their appointment, they're in pain, a crown came off, they're already coming in hot, we try to take it out of them a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a friendly voice. I can help you. Who are you speaking to? You're calling the right place.
Yeah.
Okay, my crown just came out. I want to come over. Okay, Mrs. Jones, this is Ashley. How are you today? Great. Well, my crown just came out. I want to come over. Mrs. Jones, Dr. Ritter is full this morning with patients. We do have time this afternoon put away for emergencies such as yours at 2:30. Can you make today at 2:30? Well, it just came out now. We understand that, Mrs. Jones. We want to help you with that. Unfortunately, Dr. Ritter is full with patients, and rather than have you wait an hour and a half, you'll be seen right at 2:30. If you can come today at 2:30, will that work for you?
Yeah. It's perfect. Like, it's
right, and that's how you mitigate this.
Just the calm demeanor, the problem solving, and built on top of great systems, right? I'm sure, like, you have the best systems working for you too.
Without systems, you have nothing.
Yeah.
If you're going to fly by the seat of your pants, then people are going to see your butt, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So what we've done is, we've packaged all of this for our course. Right. So what we did is, can I tell you the story about the course real quick?
Of course. Yes. Let's dive into it.
So let's go back to 2020. COVID hits, office shuts down for 2 months. All lectures are canceled. And one day I was walking on the beach when we were finally allowed to walk on the beach. It was so, I could go on and on, but I don't want, it's not political, but they weren't allowing us to walk on our beach, which was the most, looking back on it, the most ridiculous.
I know. It was a bizarre time, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just a weird time.
You can't get any government to admit any wrongdoing.
I know. This side of the border too, same thing, right?
Right. They say we normally when something happens, they go, mistakes were made and nobody takes responsibility for it. But now we finally realize that being inside was terrible and being outside was better. So you should have let us go to the beach. Anyway, they finally let us go to the beach. We snuck on the beach one day. Walk on the beach. I call up my friend who takes care of a lot of our presence online, like SEO. Yeah. I said, hey, Cameron, I can't get on the road anymore, man. I don't want to do it. I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm at 25 years. I can't handle it. Said, I don't want to travel anymore. I'd rather have them come to me. I want to teach a course where we've taken everything from a Coyce or a Spear, a Pankey Dawson, help them implement it in their practice, show them how we get the patients to buy in and move forward with the type of dentistry that you learned how to do and you want to do and is fulfilling and profitable. I said, and we've come up with these sets of protocols along the way that make things more efficient between communication between us, the patient, and the laboratory. And he goes, Ritter, you just named your course. I said, no, I didn't. He goes, you're talking so much, you're not even listening to what you're saying. The name of your course is called The Protocol.
What? Yeah, it's great.
And I said, oh. So immediately I go home, I type in The Protocol, I find my URL, I take the name, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so I go back, I talk to my business partner, and I said, hey, I think we should do this course, blah, blah, blah. It's called The Protocol. And I whiteboarded out what we're gonna do over 2 days. And I said, I'm gonna go on Instagram and talk to my friend. We're gonna do an Instagram live. And I think we're gonna promote the course and see what happens. He goes, okay. He goes, you let me know how that goes. I go, why? He goes, I don't think it's gonna resonate. In fact, I don't know if you're gonna have anybody sign up for it. And I said, okay. So, okay, I do this with my friend. I went to Eventbrite. Mind you, I've never done this before, okay? This is not some well thought, planned out. I want people to know, because I think you can learn something from this too. I came up with an idea. I said, I'm going to make it happen. What are we going to do? So I said, we're going to have it on this date. And I went to Eventbrite. You know Eventbrite, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah. Okay. Great solution.
Started,
yep.
Great this thing. Put it on there. I said, let's see if it sells out. So 24 hours later, it sells out.
Amazing.
And I go to meet my partner up at this place where you get food and drink. And I walk in. He's got a drink. He turns around. Hey, how'd that go? He goes, what'd you sell? About 3 seats? And I said, no. He goes, I told you. I said, you're right. We sold 16 because that's where we have it in our office. We can hold 16. Yeah. He's like, oh my gosh, we got to build a course. I said, dude, this is what it's all about. Yeah. And that was years ago. And we give it 4 times a year. And it sells out. We got one coming up in 3 weeks from today. It's 2 days. And it really comes down to this. I'm going to treat the dentists who come like I want to be treated when I go away for high-end CE. First of all, it's small group learning, which is nothing better than that.
There's nothing better, yeah.
There's nothing better than that. You can go to a big lecture with friends. It's great, but you're going to be entertained, but you're not going to take anything back. Okay.
Yeah, you want that instructor to be looking you dead in the eyes and like you're engaging.
Immediate question, correct. Engaging an immediate question. I got a sidebar. Oh, what's this? How can I do this? And then you lean over to the person who says, I'm already doing that. I'll show you how to do that at the break.
Yeah.
What is that worth? There's nothing like it. There's just nothing like it. And unfortunately, you really can't do this online. Online's great for absorbing knowledge, but not the interaction, not that camaraderie, not the ability at a breakout session or at lunch or breakfast or at nighttime when we take you out to dinner to sit there with other like-minded dentists and run ideas by them or make connections. So many people come with their friends, 2-3 people at a time. And so we feed you gourmet breakfasts, gourmet lunches from places that we eat, actually not from some catering company, but places we go. We take you out to one of the coolest places in Jupiter for dinner. We give you the manual. We give you $1,700 worth of products that we actually use in the practice. That the companies have donated it. So when you see it, it's there in the kit. You go back to your office on Monday. We give you a thumb drive of every piece of paperwork that you switch your name out. And then most importantly, all the gaps that they can't teach you or can't say at Spirit Coist, like John or Frank can't say the things that me and my business partner can to you.
Right.
They just can't. They're not going to drop the F-bomb like my partner does, okay? Yeah. And they're not going to say to the patients the things that we have to say to get people to snap out of their neurocoma, to understand that they have a problem and they want to move forward with it. We're going to give you all of that. Yeah. And you go back and you implement that, and we get calls and texts a week later. I just sold 2 arches.
Awesome.
I just sold a full mouth. I'm like, well, now you got the workbook, and now you can do this for the rest of your career.
And how fulfilling is that work? Like a full arch case.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
When you control it, you can't tell you how many people will get on with me and they'll do like a screen share.
Yeah.
And I'll have a scan and they'll show me the scan. I said, well, let's do this. We're going to do this. Blah, blah, blah. They get back to me like, oh my gosh, I couldn't. And they say this too. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it.
Right.
Now that they see what's going on, they're like, oh my gosh, ding, ding, ding. This is what has to be done. And what is that worth? You talk about confidence. Let's go all the way back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got the confidence to say, I've seen this before. I've done this. Okay, you know what we got to do is this, this, and this. Why? Well, because this will happen. And the most difficult thing for a dentist is after you present it, what do you have to do?
Yeah.
Just sit there and not say a word until the
And
patient
shut up.
commits.
Yeah. And
Shut up.
what a cool moment for, an opportunity to get some, some reactionary marketing material too. Those pieces are always great, when the patient is presented with, that outcome is, it's pretty special. I would personally, if I was there, I have a tough time holding in the tears. I can't imagine those moments must be like, man, I love what I do. You know, for the folks that do the single unit posterior work, which is important stuff, we talk about fulfillment in our work. Man, can you top that moment at all? Is there anything that tops that?
Well, I don't know. That's another great question. But I want to pick up on what you just said. First of all, our practice is still bread and butter dentistry of doing posterior dentistry, and in
Yeah.
fact, let's be
It,
honest here, the most profitable procedure that we do in the practice is the restoration of a single unit implant crown that's
yeah.
scrementable.
Yeah.
It's the least stress, easily most reproducible, most profitable procedure. And in fact, if you had a practice, I'm going to tell you, where you had 4 posterior implant crowns a day and then you sprinkled in some other things, man, you got a
100%.
pretty, it's
Yeah.
great. But the problem is a lot of patients that come in, they've got destroyed dentitions.
Yeah.
And at that point, restoring one tooth is not going to do much for you. And so you have to have the skill set, in my opinion, because otherwise, if you're not going to provide it to them at a very high level, they're going to find somewhere else. They're going to find somewhere else to find it.
Yeah.
And I never wanted patients to leave my practice to go for that procedure. I wanted to be the place where they came from other offices. And I've had people come in and go, I said, well, that guy does that. And he goes, I wouldn't let him touch me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because that's not, they didn't brand themselves that way. And I'm not saying they didn't have the skill set to do it, but maybe they just didn't do it as much as me and my partner, or didn't um, portray it that way. And so having you said, I like the word is confidence. I think I think dentistry, everything comes in 3, by the way, in life. Everything is 3.
It seems to be.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, everything's in 3. It's 3 little pigs. It stops the light.
Yeah, that's right.
Lights
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
It's Little Red Riding Hood and the 3.
Yeah.
Everything is in 3. So I came up with something, and I said dentistry comes down to 3 things: confidence, profitability, and happiness.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that if you have all 3 of those things going for you, you have a very fulfilled career.
Yeah. 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 And just, it simplifies it too. I think we overcomplicate things as well, right? If we focus on those pillars, I think, yeah, you got something special, right?
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So your course is full. When's the next one?
Next one is August. We have a few seats left. We give it 4 times a year. It's in February, May, August, and November. You can go to theprotocollive.com.
Yeah.
And you can either sign up there, or if you go to the website at theprotocollive.com or on the Instagram account, you can then call. There's a phone number there, and you can call and speak to Ashley, who will register you. And all you have to do is register, reserve your seat. But I'm telling you, if you come, I would come with a friend or friends. And I think that the shared experience and what we're able to provide for you, I don't like tooting my own horn. I don't. I like others to speak for me. Well, I can tell you what others have said, though. I've had some people come and tell me, Rob, this course is the best course I've ever taken because you guys show us things that nobody else shows you. There's no gatekeeping. I also don't have a second course. I don't have a vertical scale of courses. I'm giving everything to you. I'm holding nothing back. Everything. And so we'll show you best business practices. We'll show you team interaction. We'll show you how to do something that nobody else does, which is a chairside digital consult. We have people in the rooms when we're speaking. They're videoing what we say. They've memorized what we say to say it to the patient. It's great. I love giving it. I'd like to do it for the next 10 years, quite honestly. There it is, the protocol. The bottom, the number might be at the bottom if you scroll down, is me and my business partner. He's grown his
Contact
hair out.
us.
There's the next one. There it is, 855-776-2272. You speak to Ashley. Go back to his hair. Scroll back up. I got to make sure.
I can't do that. You're
No,
going to
it's
get me in
okay.
trouble.
Cool.
There's some,
No,
like that. That's some beautiful hair. Like both of you guys, like hair, you guys got great hair game. I like the black blazers too. It's
So
sharp.
that's our thing is black. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you the truth, and he doesn't mind now. He got his hair done. He flew over to
Turkey?
he flew. No, that's hair air.
Yeah.
No, everybody. There's two stories. Let me tell you two quick stories.
Yeah.
First story.
Love it.
One day he's been wanting to do it for a while. He spins the computer over to me and says, "Look at this." And there are guys who are going like this, and they're weaving their hands through their hair like mine. I'm like,
Yeah.
"What is that?" He goes, "Oh, take a look at the befores and afters." And I look at the video. I said, "Bro, I think that's AI. I don't think. No way
Yeah. What do
this
you trust?
person- What
Yeah.
are you trying to say?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I've been looking for this guy. I've looked for this for a year and a half. He's in Madrid.
Oh.
And the reason is I'm going to go see him is because he does the surgery. See, what people don't know, okay, it's not what they tell you, it's what they don't tell you, is when you go to Turkey, I'll tell you the Turkey story in a second.
Yeah.
They have techs that do it, not the surgeon themselves.
Gotcha.
So he flew to Madrid and he went 3 days in a row.
Wow.
3 days he went for surgery.
Yeah.
And now his hair is it's great.
Yeah.
Now, I went to Turkey. I flew through Turkey last summer. I had a big birthday, and we connected in Istanbul, and then Istanbul to Isle of Capri. And one of the flights in Turkey connects with ours, and I swear there had to be 15 guys that come on the plane
Yeah.
that have all got their hair done, right?
I've seen the videos on Instagram and things of that.
Hair, right? They call it hair.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
reason
Yeah.
I do Turkey is because I hate to say it, it's cheap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cheap. It's not the best. It's done cheaply,
Yeah.
which is another thing in life. I mean, you can get anything done cheaply, but is it good?
Yeah. I know.
See,
Yeah.
he went to Madrid. He did it right. He went for 3 days. He found the guy who's a stud, and his hair is outrageous now.
Yeah.
Right?
It's looking good.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
It's really. I always say he wanted my hair.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Like that. Like honestly, that hairline there it's fantastic. Like look at that. You know. It's good. It's important. Hair is important. It is. It is.
I got to tell you, let's talk about confidence, and he didn't
Yeah.
like it, and he decided to do something about
Yeah.
it. But I give him credit in that he didn't rush into it. He did his research. He went to the best guy he could find, and a great result. I like to think that's what we do in the practice, and that's what everybody else should be doing in their practice too.
Yeah.
Wake up every day with the goal of being better than you were the day before.
I mean, that's what better advice than that, right? Like, yeah. Yeah. And get uncomfortable, if you're comfortable there, it's okay to be comfortable, but if you're not pushing it, right, it's got to be hard,
Right.
Thank you so much for your time. This has been great. It sounds like I got to make a trip down to Jupiter and sit in on this course. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. It's a great course. It really is. It's, I get so many compliments, and the word is out about it, which is great. But, look, I don't have a big marketing budget. And so I like it when people talk about it. And, I'm not into bashing people over the heads. I just know the people who have come, it really has helped them. And that makes me feel really, really good. I wish this course existed 25, 30 years ago. I would have taken it. I would have been so far ahead.
Yeah.
I would have been so far ahead of where I am now.
Yeah. Hey, man, like you have, that's great. Now you've come full circle and you're giving that to somebody else, which is awesome. That must make you feel pretty, boost your ego
Really
some
does.
more, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of ego, but more just fulfillment, right? It's really
Yeah. I was kidding.
It's
Yeah.
more fulfillment. No, I understand, but no, we all have egos. That's the other thing. Anybody says, "Oh, I don't have an ego," bullshit. Everybody's got an ego.
We all do. We're human. Yeah.
We all. You show me a successful person that doesn't have an ego.
It's hard. Yeah. Like it's a pride thing, right? Like, and where do you draw that line? Like we all got to kind of be like, have a sense of humility too. It's super important, but, I think there's nothing wrong with being proud as long as it's not that sort of that abrasive type, like if it's this, I look at what I've done, and hey, I come and I'm going to show you how to do it as well, like just with open arms, that kind of thing. That's the cool kind
Well,
of
open
ego.
arms is the way to go. I know a few of the other kind, and I
Yeah,
stay far away from them. They're not the kind
yeah.
of people I see around my life, right?
And I think
They're out there.
they isolate themselves too, like just by that nature, I think.
They do, but you'd be surprised. Every now and then, you'll be surprised. There are people that really like that. They gravitate towards that because
Yeah,
you know what? I'm not for everybody. Just like I like to say in the practice, I'm not going to heal all of Palm Beach Gardens. I'm not about to try. I'm only
yeah,
going to help the people who want what we can deliver for them, done in the way that we do it. If that you like that, great. If you don't, believe me, there's another practice in town that
yeah,
might fit your personality, or you don't like the fact that our office looks bougie or looks like at a Palm Beach, then go somewhere else. That's
yeah.
fine. But that's what we want to be.
But you're attracting the patients that it's the right
Correct.
fit. It's the right fit. Like that's what you
That's
want.
right.
You want long-term folks that are coming in for their regular hygienes and knowing you guys and knowing that they're in good hands. And that's I think dentistry. We're kind of gravitating towards something different. And these big firms buying up practices and turning it into just the business of. It's a people game. Like it always will be a people game. It's a medical service.
You're right. That's a great. It's a people game. You're
Yeah,
right. It's a people game. And for what's market penetration of DSOs right now? Is it somewhere between 28 and 35%? Is
it's
that
growing.
right?
I know here it's, kind of low 20s, but it's, climbing. We're always about 5 years behind you guys down there. But yeah, I think it's pushing 30, 32, 35 for you guys. Yeah.
Okay, about 30. Yeah, let's say it's 35. Let's go the high end, 35%. Okay, that
Yeah.
means 65% is still private practice. So then the
Yeah.
question comes down again. If you're going to be in the 65%, you don't want to be run by a DSO, whether they're good or bad. I mean, there's good and bad
There's
about
good.
it.
There are good. Yeah, there are. And I don't want to paint a bad picture too. Yeah.
You're not. And I don't paint about it either because there's certain dentists that want that in their life and others that don't. Some people want to run their own life and they're determined, and I get that. But for others, they don't want that. They don't want to have to run the practice. There's a lot of things about dentistry that people don't like, so they don't want a part of it, and DSO provides that.
Yeah.
Now, all I'm saying is that if there's 65% now that are private practice, okay, now what are you going to do to stand out in the crowd of 65%? Because the other 35% is homogenous,
Yeah.
right? It's McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And there's nothing wrong with McDonald's. It's fast. It's used to be inexpensive. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's quality.
Yeah.
So now, what are we? We are not inexpensive. We're not fast. We're quality. You can't
Yeah.
have all three things in business. You can't have all three. You can't have price, quality, and expediency. You can't.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. So you got to
Yeah.
pick two of the three and then drive that goal. And in dentistry, if you're going to be part of that 65%, I think you have to be extremely competent, provide something that nobody else has, do it better than everybody else can, in an environment that everybody wants to be about, and create FOMO in your area. That's
Yeah.
what's going to drive goals.
Yeah. 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 They're wearing the same scrubs as you. They're following along in your path. That's, I think, when you got something special, right? 'Cause,
Yes, of course.
everybody's
Of course.
kind
Then
of,
we move to different scrubs.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's only so many colors in the rainbow, right? Like, yeah.
That's well, nobody's using colors anymore. It's all black.
There you go. Yeah. And
Black and
man,
white.
how do you keep the black clean? Jeez. There you go.
Well, you have multiple uniforms. That's what
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Like
Yes.
multiple times a day, right?
Correct. Wash your feet there.
Any kind of like floating around final thoughts is something that's top of mind for you right now? What can
Again, for me, I think trying to be the best that you can be on a daily basis is what's going to get you through some tough times. I think you should always take CE. I think you should find people like-minded. I think you should find mentors. I think having believe it or not, a great tax attorney and a great tax accountant that understands dentistry, very important.
Great tip.
Very important. I think that having a partner is a great thing when you want to have bigger dreams and aspirations, run things off of is great. Know that you have to change course every now and then, and that's okay. I think that dentistry, the other advantage that we have is we have technologies that are available to us now that weren't available. I always say I would never wanted to practice 40 years ago because I wouldn't have had the ability to do the sorts of things that I could do now. It was just too difficult to practice the way I practice right now without technology. But technology is not a replacement for care, skill, knowledge. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's an adjunct. It's an adjunct. So understanding technology and thinking that the scanner is going to make a difference for you, you actually have to prep better with a scanner.
Yeah.
Or milling restorations or even printing restorations. That's all great. But you got to have great preps. You got to take your time. You have to learn how to prep properly. You have to understand the material's limitations. And where do you get that from? It's not trial and error, because you're trying it on patients, and when it fails, they're going to be upset. You have to take it from people that know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And take the time, slow down, do the right thing. I always said, if you do the right thing, the money will always follow.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Mic drop. This has been awesome. Let's do this again.
Sure.
I'd love to dive into. Let's get your partner on next time, and
absolutely, we'll get him on as well. Absolutely,
yeah,
he does these too. Yeah, I have to push him a little bit more.
Yeah. But then get him uncomfortable, right? Yeah.
Uncomfortable. You want to talk about uncomfortable? You get my partner on. He's going to make you a lot of people uncomfortable.
Oh no. Perfect. That's my favorite kind. Yeah. I do that a good enough job myself, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope I was able to share some information with your team. And if anybody's looking to take the course, just like I said, reach out either Protocol Live or give us a call. And hope to see you here in beautiful Florida.
Jupiter. Here we go, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. And you enjoy your weekend with your friend with the boat.
I will. You too. Thanks.
Hey, do you want me to come on? Absolutely, yeah. I like that. That's great. I had Kyle Stanley on. It's good to kind of get Kyle's a great dude. Like, we talk about he's kind of waving the flag for that whole mental health picture. He's like, Pearl is such a cool thing. Like, we could have got into like what AI is doing now for the practice. It's there's some cool things going on.
Yeah, there's really, really cool things happening right now. In fact, it's getting ready to really, in a sense, explode. It's going to explode.
Yeah. Yeah.